What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Conquest Racing Club. Welcome back to another unboxing and review. Today's a very exciting day. I've been waiting for this car for a bit. It is none other than a car from an Austrian motorcycle manufacturer, and it is the KTM X-Bow. So this gorgeous car is what we're going to review today. So let's get to it. When I got this car, I bought it in both the liveries. So we have the number 75 here in this kind of, I call it like a magenta, a faded magenta. It's a weird color. It's like a deeper salmon. But my favorite car and the one that we're going to unbox today is the True Racing number 16. This is the KTM X-Bow with its bright orange and matte black finish. This is an amazing looking car, so I can't wait to unbox it and get it on the track and see what it does. So let's unbox it first. So it's very simple. I'll be right back after I've removed it from its packaging. Alright, let's take a quick look at the box itself. So this is a blue box. That means it's a digital car from Carrera. On the flat, it says KTM X-Bow GTX True Racing number 16. This car was introduced in 2021. It went on to win the GT2 championship that year. On the bottom, it just tells you when it was manufactured, past quality control, and part number. On the back of it, of the box here, you can see that this car cannot run in 1 in 30 turns, bank turns, so be careful with that. In here, there's always extras. So when you open this up, there's a package inside. You normally get your warranty, and here you get a couple of extras. You get a guide, an extra guide. You get some side view mirrors and braids. So it's always cool that Carrera does that, but it's part of their packaging. All right, so let's take a look at this car. So out of the two, this is my favorite. Its packaging, its livery is just amazing. You guys know how much I love matte black, and this car is got matte black on it, white, and this beautiful orange, almost glowing in the dark paint. I had this with the lights off, and it was glowing in its case. It was amazing to see. Yeah, so let's look at the car in detail. Now, this car came out in 2021. It was released by KTM to race in the GT2 championship. It did really well that year. It came out and won its series, so it won its championship that year. So the unique thing about it, this is called KTM, when they released this vehicle, called it their racing rocket, and it lived up to its name. It was built with a carbon monocoque. It has a 600 brake horsepower, and yeah, all in all, just a fantastic looking car. So we'll start at the front as we normally do, and I really like this. It's got kind of like a LMP looking vibe to it. It's got those really shallow headlights inset, and reminds me almost about the Peugeot LMP car, where it had that recessed headlights. Has a really wide mouth here, and this gives it this really sharp kind of aircraft look when you look at it from the side view, where the front nose dips in and then comes down, and then you got this big spoiler that kind of brings it back into line with the current rules and regulations, where cars cannot have a sharp nose. So it kind of gives it the flat nose impression, but it's really not flat because the car does have really sharp lines deep into that front splitter. You can see the 2 air intakes here, the tow hook coming out in the middle of the car. Really cool looking. Once again, I mean, everything about this car screams speed. Everything about this car screams like I'm gonna come and give you a ride of your life. So it's definitely a car that just, accentuates what I think a GT2 car should. We get these beautiful matte black wheels from Carrera once again, front and rear. They seem to be a staggered setup. The rear seems a bit bigger than the front, but I will take a look at that later. I don't know what size tire this is, but we'll take a look and see if we can get some replacements from Paul Gage before we give it some really hard runs. The side livery is pretty cool. Lots of white and orange and black. Number 16 denoting this car. KTM badging right across the side. I mean, like I said, the orange is so stunning. This is my favorite livery out of the 2 for sure. We get the driver with his white, blue, and red helmet with the white jumpsuit. It is a flooded cockpit, so it comes and cuts off just below his chest. You get the beautiful True Racing logo right on the back. So as we sweep up the front here, you get these really angular lines accentuated by the livery coming up into the windshield. You get the Fanatec logo right across the head, top of the windshield. Get into the roof and then sweeps back to this really big rear end here with the True Racing logo on it. You get a nice GT2 spoiler here with the word True Racing on it. And then you have Matador just underneath that spoiler in stickers. As we move around to the back, it almost looks like a cross between the P1 McLaren and a couple of other cars. So you get these headlights here, the rear tail lights, and then a very angular kind of rear end. So I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to see underneath the spoiler here, but it is very angular. Got a really nice rear diffuser here, and in general, just a beautiful looking, normal looking GT2 rear end. Lots of canards, lots of aero. The passenger side looks exactly like the driver's side. This is a standard Carrera setup from the chassis level. It's a inline motor system. So I'm not going to open it up because I've done this so many times with other Carrera cars. It's a pretty standard digital car with a digital chip, switch polarity, and then a simple setup. The wheels, axles, everything is tight. Unlike the 300 SEL, everything is tight on this car. It feels like ready to race. So without further ado, let's get to the track and see what it does. All right, we'll be back off the track. Guys, welcome back from trackside. We just put the KTM X-Bow through its paces on the track, and it was good, but I really wanted this car to be fast. You really want it because you know the lines in this car, everything about this car says this is supposed to be a fast car. But let's take a look at the results and let's go over what I found. So what I found is, okay, the KTM did 4.731, which is decent. It's not a very fast time. If you look at the leaderboard right now, and if you look at page 3, I think that's where it falls on. So it's pretty far back. And I believe it's between the Di Tommaso, it's between the Di Tommaso Pantera and the Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL. So, in regards to what this car is supposed to do, I think kind of fell short of the mark. But this is my thoughts on it. This car can be fast. The first thing that I found was when I removed it from the packaging, the rear wheels were a little bit bowed. And that's not something you typically see all the time with Carrera, obviously, especially coming out. And this was severe bowed. I mean, it wasn't just slightly. I think all Carrera wheels are not true when they come out of the packaging, but this car did suffer. So what was happening was it felt a little bit tail heavy as I was coming around the corners, especially on the DDT track, which, as you can tell, is a very twisty and turny track with all very tight turns. So the car did struggle a little bit coming around the corners there. And with the tires not gripping properly and not having good tire patch, it was bound to have a few problems. But let's look at the specs on this car. When you look at the weight, it's 114 grams, so definitely not a very light car, but not that significantly heavy. It is a longer car at 154 millimeters, slightly longer. But once again, there's not a lot of rear overhang from the vehicle, so space. And you look at the car, let's look at side profile here. Like here, you can see that there's not a lot of overhang between the rear wheel and the back of the diffuser. So it shouldn't be that tail happy, but it was a little bit significant in how it was swinging around on the track. So let me give you my final thoughts and we'll finish up and tell you what I think. So my final thoughts on the vehicle, once again, great looking vehicle, stunning. The actual car itself, I've fallen in love with it. The way it opens up like a jet fighter, the whole cockpit just pulls up and out. I think it's just phenomenal. The design, the structure, the fact that this came from KTM, I mean, these are all just pluses. And if you are a big fan of race cars, you'll want one of these in your collection. What it would benefit from, and I did do this before I did the track run, I did put it down on some sandpaper and try and scrub off that, that little bow that they had on the tires. And, we got a decent time. Do I think it can be a lot better? 100%. I think it needs a good set of tires. Now, the rear tires are a little bit bigger than normal. They are 22.25 millimeter outer diameter and 16.5 inner diameter. So I'm going to look and see what kind of rubber I can get for this car. I have 2 of them, so definitely going to look at trying to prep them for some racing at the club. But all in all, great looking car, absolutely fantastic livery. We need more innovative cars coming out in the GT2, GT3 category, so glad to have it part of my collection. I think if you're into GT2, GT3 cars, you should definitely pick one up for your collection. And that's my final thoughts. Beautiful car. I'm glad to have it. Now, I know I've mentioned the giveaway because I did pass 500. I will be doing the giveaway mid-February of next month. So mid of next month in February, or if it's February already, mid of this month. Stay tuned. I will release a video specifically about that. But once again, thank you so much for subscribing, commenting, means a lot to me. I want to thank the community for, you know, staying by me and walking me through as I continue this journey of exploration in slot car. And until next time, guys, hope you have fun rails, and we'll see you then. Take care.